onto the ground, and you can start with a bridge. We're going to wake up our back, and you're welcome to, and wake up the glutes. You're welcome to put your feet on the floor. I'm going to warm up on the floor and introduce the breath. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Yes, so this will be the focus of waking up, scanning how you're doing, the internal landscape, coming inside. And then we'll stay up for 10 and hold here for 10, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then lower down. Now we're just going to change it a little bit. Lift up your toes so your heels are digging in. If you need to walk them out a little bit, that's fine too. So now the toes are up. You want to feel like your shins are activated, and then you can roll up and down. So we're digging in our heels, up and down with the toes pulling back towards your shins. So you'll feel a little energy around the shins and the front of the ankle. I'm just going to mix things up a little bit, some variations. Breathe in and out through your nose. And then when you come down this time, we're going to plant the feet, the toes, and lift the heels. So now the heels are in the air, and then you're going to keep the heels in the air as you lower up and down in your bridge. So you should be feeling a little bit more activity around the lower, around the ankle. And you want to make sure your ankle's not kicking out to the side or inverting. So you're keeping all the toes equal, your heels are lifted, but the heels are not kicking out to the side. You want to feel like your calves are waking up as well. And just take a couple more. Nice. And then lower your feet again. Now this time the left heel's down and the right leg's up. It can be in a matching hamstring. You're going to lift up, you're going to bend that right knee for now, and then just keep it in the air. I'll explain why later. In a little knee bend. It's good for our mind to mix things up too, right? 7, 8, you're in a knee bend. 9, 10. Now the right heel comes down, only the right heel. So notice I'm not putting the toes down, and your left foot kind of matches it, but it's in the air. So the toes are pulling back on both feet. Your knee is bent on the left knee, and you're basically doing a one-legged bridge, but you want to feel like your ankle's now more involved, and you have your mind more involved because it's different cues. 7, no jaw tension. 8, no hand tension. 9, 10. Now the feet are flat for a moment. We're going to lift up and then take your leg up like you did, but open up the knee without moving your hips. So keep the knee open like a clamshell. Now go down and up. Your goal is to not let the hips tilt, just the thigh is out. If that's too much and you feel like you're wobbling all over the place, put your knee back how you had it before. Otherwise, 3 more. Try to keep the hips level. 2, 1. Now put the right foot down, lift up the left leg, open the knee almost like a clamshell, and then lift up. Your goal is to keep the hips level even though you have some weight over here on the left side. 5, keep pulling back through the left toes. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now lower down, walk your feet out about 1 foot length away. So really doesn't matter, but 1 foot length away is nice. Lift up your hips. The feet can be down for now, and you're lifting up your hips. You have a little different hamstring work we're doing. Notice the hips are level. And then if you can, lift the toes. So now I'm just digging the heels in, and I'm in the same knee angle for 10. So now you should feel that all the toes are pulling up, so you have some activity around the front of your ankle. You're digging in your heels like the saying is. Up. And nice. Now 1 more length away. So this is pretty long. Your knees do have a softness in them. Go up and down, and you're on your heels, your calcaneus. 2, 3, you should feel more of your hamstring a little differently. Trying to work all the different parts of the hamstring. 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, if you can, hold it up. We've been working our legs a lot, so if they're tired, just do the best you can. 5 more. Lower your hips. We're going to try to hold it up for 2 more sets of 10. Here we go. 10. And then lower. Now we're going to do 1 more set of 10 here. Up, 10. And then lower. Now we're going to do something nice, a hamstring stretch of sorts, so you can hold on to your feet. Let me move my mic. And add any kind of movement you need. You probably feel like you need some release. I'm going to add a rock. And also the feet together, so the inner thighs are together, our feet together, knees wide. And then just touch the right leg up in a hamstring stretch and move the ankle. You can point and flex. And then just touch the left leg up and hold on to the hamstring, and you can point and flex the ankle, roll the ankle. Just those ankles were working, so give them a little mobility here. Now, if you would like to add on, your foam roller might be handy. You're going to put your feet on top, and at first just go up and down, and then your goal is keeping the hips level, and at this moment you're keeping the foam roller stable. It's a potentially unstable object, so you're trying to keep it stable. Now the goal would be that if you can, you lift up your leg. We'll do a straight leg this time, and we're going to point. Now try to keep the hips level and try to keep the foam roller stable. 10 reps. And then the other leg comes down. You're going to try to keep your hips level. The other leg's up pointing. So we're trying to add the attention to the foot and the ankle. 6, go all the way down. It's easy to kind of skip a range of motion here, but go all the way down. Everything's going well, so now the feet are on the roller and we're going to lift up. Both of them are on. Your option could be that you roll the feet back and forth. You're moving the roller this time, so you are doing some hamstring knee curl, knee flexion. You can tell how that's a little harder. We're doing about 20 of these. And then take an inhale, and then take a break for a moment. So we're going to stretch out the hamstrings. You can do, we're going to do a few stretches. I'm going to pull the thighs in. I'm going to take a happy baby. I'm going to move away from the wall and then also stretch out the knees so their knees are a little longer or a lot longer, whatever you need to do, and then pull your toes back. We're working the ankles, so we're going to go ahead and do some mobility. Circle and point and flex in those ankles. All right, now we're doing another one on the roller. If you have that, you're going long, your ankle calf area's on it, so you have a soft knee bend still, and go up and down. So now you'll feel like you're a little higher off the ground than you were when the feet were on the floor. 5, good. 6, 7, 8, 9, and then try to hold it up. 10, lower. We're shooting for 2 more sets of 10. Here we go. So the legs are working. 10, lower. Release any tension that might be in the face or the jaw, and here we go. 10, up. And then relax. Now I'm going to take a full body stretch first, shift through the waist, shift through the fingers, and then again put the right leg in the air and move it just a little, point and flex. And then move the other one up in the air, the other one's down, point and flex. And then let's offer a sip. So I'm going to offer the hands come behind, and then we prop up. Nice job. We're still adding on, but I want to just get us 8 to 12 ounces. Abdominals. So I'm going to Leave the foam roller down just for a fun prop. You can use your abs to come down. Now we worked the spine in some mobility. Now we'll lift up the feet. At this moment, your hands can be down and just lift up the hips if they will. Good. So it's a pelvic tilt, and I've got a modification I'm showing with the knee bend. Good. Either keep doing this or hands behind your head and come up 10 more. Double crunch, excuse me, both ends. Or you can just stick with the lower. So Betty, yeah, it's up to you. You can do the lower half. Breathe in and feel your belly pull in. And then take a moment. Now we'll just tug for a moment. We're gonna do a higher pelvic lift. This was out of a plyo course that I took, or a plyometric course, so the hands could go down. Now if you can do the same thing we did, or you can come up a little higher. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Awesome. Now we're going to sneak in a right ankle to left thigh stretch for a moment. Release any tension that you might have accidentally gotten in your jaw, your hands, your face. So just let every other unnecessary tension go. And then we're going to take the ankle to thigh here, reach your hands through and rock. Okay, this is nice. 10, 5. All right, we're going to take another inhale. And then as you're ready, we're going to be putting those legs up. Your hands are down. Now this one is a partner drill. Pretend I'm next to you. We're going to lower the legs to the left a bit. I'm going to use the roller as my point of contact. Come up to vertical-ish and roll it down towards the right side of the roller. So we're just using props. This is good for the brain to mix things up. Good for the muscles just to have changes. So the modification for a tight hamstrings would be knee bend. And it also shortens your lever a little bit, so it's also an intensity modification. Now we're going to do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Now when you stretch, get yourself centered so everything feels good, and then add a little hug. Good job. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Now we're going to take the hands underneath the thighs and roll up. Nice job. And we're going to sneak in some planks with our foam roller as a possibility. Just take a forearm plank with the shins on the roller and internally rotate if you would like. Now you can also just hold a plank. So please choose your own. You could also do cat-cows here if you want. Knee under for 10. Nice, and then take a little breather. We're going to do 10 obliques, so you can just hold a plank or a cat-cow as your modification. And your knees could go left and then plank, and then your knees could go right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Really good. And then we're going to do a hip lift, which could be called a pike or a dolphin, or you can do a cat-cow, or you can do a plank. So if you're doing the hip lift, you'll internally rotate the thighs, roll the roller on your shins, lift your hips 10 times. And recover. Nice job. All right, we're going to get rid of that for just a moment. The roller aside for a moment. We'll come back to it, so keep it handy. Let's grab a sip. I'm going to work the rear deltoid, but this also helps the extensors. So, and this helps the trapezius and rhomboids. So you're down like you would be if you were doing swan, but your hands are low. Now, gently lift up. At first, let's wake up the back. And if you can, lift up your toes. And then you're hovering your arms, you're hovering your torso, you're hovering your toes. You're hovering your thighs, or knees at least. You might be on your belly or pelvis. And just build that strength in your erector spinae, the muscles responsible for keeping the spine upright. Now lower for a moment. They're warmer. We're going to add on the arms. So when you're ready, you're going to lift up your torso, lift up your arms, and possibly lift your toes. That's up to you. When you're here, the add-on is to lift the arms higher than the back 10 times. This is called I, or like the letter I, 10 times. And then take a moment where you're resting on the floor. We'll also change our arms to a letter T. Now you're going to lift your torso and your toes and your arms. And then the add-on is the arms go up 10 times. Focus on the back of the shoulder, and then recover for a moment. Now this is a Y, so set your Y up first, and then you're going to lift your legs, your toes, your torso, your arms. If you can add on, lift 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, keep the chin tucked slightly. 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. So push back, and I'm going to add the toe under stretch so the feet get a stretch here. Good, and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to come to a cat-cow. I'm going to show the fingers under, but you can also do fingers flat. I do like to just mix up how I show things, so you always have this memory that there are different ways to do it if you're struggling with anything. But now you can extend, and then you can round up like you're pushing your back towards the sky. You'll feel how that shifts in your shoulders. Feel the scapula kind of go wide and down, but your upper back goes up, and then you lift the sternum. And you can make it as, let's say your low back's tight today, you could make it as focused on your low back, or let's say you're working on your shoulders, you want to feel the back puff up and the scapula glide down. Breathe in. Now, this is yours to stay, or if you want to add on some longer levers, you can do a down dog, up dog. Cat-cow is an excellent exercise though, so if you need to do that, that is fine. Go up, it'll be about 5 more if you're doing cat-cow, if you're doing a down dog, up dog. And it'll probably be about 8 more if you're doing the cat-cow, and work on the different parts. Segmented cat-cow or scapula, or segmented spine in this calf stretch. I can feel my calves are tight. So you never know what you're going to find out when you're doing an exercise, what your body needs, right? 2, maybe some different activities the day before. Alter the focus of what you need today. And 1 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then again, a little child's pose. If you want to pat yourself on the back, this is a nice little, just a small little add-on, but we like to move the body in the ways it was intended. So we want to be able to put our arms overhead, pat your back. Nice. And then grab a sip. We're going to go back to the swans, belly down. If you have your roller and you choose to use it, you can use it here. We're going to be doing a higher swan. So earlier we did the list without any arms really helping us. If you want them, they can help you. If you don't, you can put them on the floor or hands below your side, do your hips like we did earlier. But either way, we're going up with the spine. And let your breathing dictate your speed. So I'm just doing it whenever I need to inhale, I'm coming up. And whenever I need to exhale, I'm coming down. It's not forced or rushed. And that is a way to tap into parasympathetic, reduce inflammation. And as I found out yesterday, when you're stressed, you alter your bacteria in your gut. And I don't know if I didn't know that or hadn't thought of that, but we're going to do the opposite and get some feeling good and peaceful feelings so we can even help our gut, our biome. So here we go with a hold. Hold 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now lower, I'd like to do 2 more sets. If you need to decrease the intensity, you can take your hands off the roller, but just find one, a place you can do 10. Let it feel good. Let these be nourishment breaths for your body, nourishing movements. Lower down. Let this be a chance to heal your body from the gut to the mind to the nervous system to the muscles to the bones. Come on up to the breath. Just milk as much as you can out of it for all your health. And then lower it down. Awesome. I'm going to offer a windshield wipe. That's just a way to release tension. You want to feel like your low back doesn't have any tension. This is just a sample way to do it. If you need a child's pose, please go for it. And then we're going to move this roller because we are going to move our scapula. So one thing the shoulder blades should be able to do is move. So we're going to do a circle with our arms. It's parallel to the floor. Whoops, got to move that mic. All right, so you go a circle. Now I'm making a humongous circle because I don't have any pain. If you have any pain, find one that works for you. Maybe you could pretend you're making, I'll say, a personal pan pizza, but the healthiest of kinds, right? Good mushrooms and feta on it. But you could make a humongous circle because you want to feel, can you feel your scapula glide? And we're also lifting up the back, but you want to feel your scapula glide healthily around. If you need to modify the circle, go for it. If you can add on, I'm going to add on flutter kick. So we want healthy hamstrings and glutes. And we want to challenge our brain with the body doing different things. So breathe in, big scapular movements, healthy shoulders. Breathe in. And then I'm going to have us recover a child pose. And I'll offer the knee wide one. This is a knee wide child pose. Your belly is in the middle and it frames your belly. So make as big as a diaphragmatic breath as you can. Another big diaphragmatic breath. That also helps the low back. One more full big diaphragmatic breath. Nice. And then come up and grab a sip. I'm going to show a couple of frontal plane movements. So as you know, I like to change up the way that we work so that your body is able to handle any task in life and complements our sagittal plane movements like walking, running. So I'm going to show inner thigh here. Actually, I'm going to show outer thigh. We're just going to take 10 because I want to just sort of warm up the muscle and tell you what you can do. I'm adding on the ankles because of their importance with stability, function. Yes, so really point and flex. Now I'm just going to do Anantasana, so grab it and stretch it. So enjoy the fact that this is a little bit lower intensity right now, but boy, isn't that nice. Maybe your leg will come in closer, maybe, it's so nice. And inhale. And then this leg's going to just get out of the way in a 90. So lift up the bottom leg, but let's do a point and a flex, so we're adding on some. These are moves that you're going to be able to come back to in a moment as we add on. They're good in and of themselves, but they have a great use for modification and warm up. Now we're going to do everything on the other side. So let's kick it to the other side. Take your top leg and let's do point and flex. We're also pumping inguinal crease lymph nodes. You've got lymph nodes right here. We're pumping them. We're stimulating lymph. 5, 6, 7. A little bit of ab tone you can probably feel. 9. Now on this one you can catch Anantasana and find where you need to be. Relax your jaw and neck. Hold, enjoy. Notice how you can play with your shoulder here. You can put it down the back. Stretch out the elbow. You want to make sure that you can still lengthen the elbow. Sometimes people lose that, so we want to keep it long. 5, 4, 3, 2. Now this leg is going to go down just out of the way. Your bottom leg's going to point and flex. This is a warm up for your inner thigh. This is your possible comeback move. Lift it higher than you think. Sometimes the body shortchanges us. All right, now you may choose to do those exercises again. I'm going to switch arms and go to a side plank. And let me show you a couple ways to do this. You can kind of lift up in a side and take your top leg up. That's a modification. Or you could go full and lift up. So find a way to do hip abduction, or you could do the lying down ones. Good. 5 here. Now I'm going to lower that hip. Go to the other side. Remember, you could be doing the lie down if you need to for your shoulders. So you could sort of do this mermaid leg position, come up, and you could lift your leg. Or if you're like, nope, give it to me, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. And then to the other side. Remember, you can do lie downs. Great, everybody. So you could put your top foot back and come up and lift up. So bottom inner thigh. Let's take 8 of these. Lower, and then the other side, 8. And remember, you could always do the lie down kind. So I've got my top foot behind, bottom leg, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Great. In line with the quad. Do you feel the leg theme? In line, we're coming up. Now I'm going to be sideways to you, and I'm going to hinge. If your knee needs any cushion at all, put something underneath it so that the pain, so joint issue isn't the issue. Like, you don't want to feel like your knees are uncomfortable. So if you don't have anything, you can even fold up your mat. I'll just show. Now, how far you go back is up to you. But if your knees do have trouble flexing, you don't want to totally avoid knee flexion. So you might sit in a chair and extend your knee. You want to keep a joint moving. You just want to find a healthy way to do it. So ideally, you can go back. Maybe it's an inch. If your knees feel great, you could go back 4 inches. Now notice how your abs have to have tone, or you would kind of do this extra low back arch. If you put your hands here, you can feel them. If you guys are doing okay, we're going to add a couple Macarenas. Actually, let me say 5. So go back, arm, arm, flip, flip, cross, cross, up. So that was 1. So we're going to go back, palm, palm, flip, flip, cross, cross, up 2. Good. Go back, palm face down, flip the palm up, shoulder, shoulder, up. So that was 3. You're doing great. This is for the brain and the quads. 4. Nice. And I'm not cueing, so you're doing great. Hinging, and do your arms. Awesome. Good, you got the memory. Terrific job. Great job. So I'm going to offer this pose, which is like a Nustrasana modified, where you stretch out those legs. Another way you could do it is you come up here, but I'm offering this one for the thighs. 5, 4, good, Jean. 3, lift, lift, lift. This is an inside job. 2, inhale, and then exhale, lower down. You're doing great. Grab a sip. Really good. I love it. A little bit more legs. When you're down on the belly, you're going to be letting your arms be a pillow for your head. I want you to think about your hips being level, because you can't see them, so you're going to feel them. Lengthen your left leg up as high as you can, and then lower, and lengthen your right leg up as high as you can. So this is an area, keep going, that gets some amnesia sometimes when you've been sitting for a long time. Lengthen and lift without rocking the pelvis. Lengthen and lift. And a lot of times we do a lot of bent knee hamstrings in life, so I do like to sneak in these different variety of long-legged hip extensions. And if it's going okay, we're gonna flutter it for 20 again, kind of like we did with the other, but you're just focused on your legs, 20 to 30. And then we're gonna keep the legs in the air and tap the feet together, 20 to 30. 10, 20, and that should feel like it worked, huh? Come back, either a child pose or a sit in a squat malasana. I'm going to show the malasana. Child's pose is a nice one, but this will just help stretch out the legs, and it's a functional task. Good. Palms can be down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'd like to have us come up for a little bit. I'm gonna, you can have a sip, you can scoot your camera. I'm gonna tilt my camera up a little bit, but no hands. Good. So if you can, let's do a couple of no hand ones. So you'll sit back down and come back up. And then if you would like another one, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Prop that foot under and sit. And then your right foot's forward, and then your left foot helps you up. And then you put your left foot forward. You're doing great. And then if you're doing the other, right foot back, slow lower, foot under, have a seat. And then your left foot's forward, your right foot's back, come back up. If everything's going okay, cross your ankles. Can you believe how far you've come? Come down. And a yoga block's a nice little prop here if you need it. And then back up. Now I'm crossing my other, ta-da, ta-da. And then we're coming down. Inhale, and then up. And then the other one we're adding, you guys are doing great, is I'm going to turn to the side. You come down. Now I'm going to come down all the way. Shins gently forward. Feet. I love to add a little Ustrasana. And then forward. Flip. You're on your feet. And then up. Nice job. Grab, if you need, grab. A lot of you have some type of piece of furniture, but if you don't, grab a foam roller. Hello, sunshine. You see all the juniper trees in my backyard by the shadows. So we're going to go up and down. Now I'm going to offer some cues, but just keep going. You're tall. When I say tall, the ear is in line with the shoulder, not poking forward. That's really good for preventing forward head syndrome. And when the head is 1 inch forward in the body, it's up to 12 pounds of pressure in the neck. 32 pounds of pressure in the low back, or if you're built like me with a long neck, it's even more, or if you were to have a heavier head. So it's a strain on the body to have the head forward. So feel your ear in line with the shoulder. Feel all your toes having equal weight. All that looks really good. Now if you can, 1 foot's out of the way. Now I want the pelvis to stay stable while you focus on 10 repetitions of the toes getting all your weight. Calves are a great exercise you can do without even any equipment. You can do it at the counter waiting for your coffee to brew, at the gas station, but they're a forgotten muscle group sometimes. Try the other, and they're super important for blood flow too. So go up and down and balance, and 10 reps. I hope you feel like over these years they've gotten more even, that you have strength in both. And then we're doing 10 squats. Now remember, if that's not for you, maybe just do a 2-inch squat. If your knees don't like it, do a 3-inch squat, or do a wall sit, or sit in a chair and extend your knee, but keep the knees moving. If we stop moving them, we lose them. So we're gonna keep moving them. We need that synovial fluid, even if it's just a reduced range of motion. Now, as I'm going down, I'm thinking, are each of my feet even? Do I have 50% of my weight on each leg? And then I'm going to go out. Now this is called a second position. You can self-select your external rotation. It doesn't have to be severe like a dancer. It can just be slightly toed out, but it should feel like your femur and your acetabulum easily glide. The femur glides and the acetabulum, there's no bone in the way. 50-50. You feeling that? We're adding on. So take 2 more. These are great exercises. They also lower blood sugar. They help the muscles take up glucose. So get ready. Single. Now, single hold. So Utkatasana is what we call it in yoga. You're still even, but you're holding isometric. 10. Find your angle. 2, 3. There is a little chin tuck with that usually. 4, 5. Feel even. 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to stand and let your blood pressure adjust. We're going to be doing a single isometric squat. Have a seat. Now I'm going to pick up a foot and hold for 10 with 1 foot. Now I'm trying to stay even in the pelvis. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to stand, and again, if you need a breath right here, this is a good time to start with a full tank and then lower. Other side. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and stand. Now you can hold on to something. Actually, let's grab a sip and then we're going to do single squat. So this one is self-select your range of motion. Hold on to something. Like I'm going to use a wall, for example. 1 foot's off the floor and you're going to bend the one knee. You figure out what your is. It's okay to lean forward. I'm going to show you. Yeah, it almost feels like you have to, doesn't it? And then you go into an extension. Dip. And I'm using the cue of shin gently touching the floor, but you might put a block underneath your shin, or you might put a pillow, or you might just kind of in your mind's eye go to a certain knee flexion of the working leg. Feel how your knee wants to track with the second toe or middle hip. And our offer is 10 each. And of course, if you need a backup plan, you can always do calf raises. So you do the other side and you do tilt forward. You do stand up all the way. It's tempting to not extend the hip, but you want to stand up all the way and train your body ear in line with the shoulder. Breathe in. Exhale, use the exhale to help you go up. Breathe in. And 5. Looking good. 6. There you go. Good. 7. Functional. This really reveals if one leg's been taken over, doesn't it? 9. But it's probably noticing you're getting stronger in the other leg. Mine was, my left leg was a little bit behind. Nice. Full breath. This one is calf raises. Now we're warming up the fascia. I want you to think springy, elastic pogo. We're going to do a pogo before we do big jumps. So pretend that you're a pogo and your ankles are your pliant. This also helps with bone density. So we're taking about 20 pogos. Springy ankles, they help you when you hike and you can feel the ground. All right, now if you choose to add on, you're going to do 6 big jumps. And if you don't, do the calf raises or do the pogos. So if you, now with your shoulder, make sure your shoulder's safe, but you can. 1, 2, these were the bone density. 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome. Nice. Now, pogo, right foot only, but if you need to make it a calf raise, you can. So I'm going to offer 20 on the right foot, pogo. 4, 5, 6, 7, springy ankle. Everything else is sort of out of it. Nice. And then 20 on the left, springy. On the ankle, I mean. The body's not really jumping around, just the ankle's pliant. Now 10 on the right, and travel if you can. And 10 on the left, travel if you can. And then come back when you're ready. Whew. Now back to jumps. These are big bone density builders. You can do 6 where you sort of open up in the air, kind of like a jumping jack. Michelle, if your shoulder doesn't want to do a wild thing, just kind of keep it in, you know. So if you're doing it, you're gonna 6, 5, the jump is what builds the bone density. 2, 1. Nice job, really good. The next one is that you could do knees towards your belly, 6 jumps. Doesn't even have to be that much, but it's a little different. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice job. We're gonna do a couple that we've been working on. 2 feet in, 2 feet out, 2 feet in, 2 feet out. If you need a modification, you can do a little out, and in. So 10 wide, narrow jumps, 10 each way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, travel. 5, 6, I have to turn to be in the view. 7, 8, 9, 10 the other way. Or if you're like me, you're doing about 5 one way and 5 the other. And then recover. Now this one's for fast twitch. Pretend there's a ladder there, like a ladder drill, agility ladder, and your hot coals are on the ground. So your goal is to move fast. So it's gonna look like in and out, out, really fast. Fast feet. And then turn around and do in and out, in and out. About 10, really fast. Fast feet for fast twitch. Now I started with my right foot naturally. Now we're gonna start with our left foot with the travel down and the travel back, in and out, fast. So left foot leads. Really fast, really fast. And then left foot leads in and out of the ladder. And the last little one we're gonna do before we go back down, you guys are doing great, is 2 feet wide, 1 foot narrow. 2 feet wide, the other foot narrow. So I think of it as hopscotch, traveling about 10 each way, or if you're like me and you have a short space, 5, 5, 5, 5. So 1, right, 1, or 2, right, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then again, turn, travel, about 5 each way, and then the other way. You want to feel springy like an animal, and then the other way. Head up, jaw up, and then come back. Whew, grab a sip. Good job. We're going to do a little dynamic balance. Our dynamic balance today, let's take 4 circles each leg each way. You can move your leg, you can move your arm, you can try not to touch the floor as your balance. This leg's figuring it out. And breathe, fully go the other way. Oh, this seems easy now, right? No problem. All right, 4 the other way. And so I'm gonna give myself a challenge, bigger circle. So here we go. 4, 3, 2. Breathe, and the other way, trying not to touch the floor. Move that ankle so it doesn't hit the floor. Really good. I want to give us another challenge. Hinge, kind of like a warrior 3, hinge. And then your right leg is going to bend and straighten. Whoops, so I already lost my balance. Try 8, 7, and then get that same knee in the front, hold it up. Whoop, lost my balance. And then 8 knee extensions. Try to stay tall. 2, good. 3, I'm going to turn to you. Yeah, it's a little harder than it looks, right, Betty? 5, 6, 7, really important for the spine. And then lower. Now we're doing the same sequence, kind of like a hinge. If you go more hinge, just harder. So hamstring curl 8. Lift the knee and extend the knee. Now you stay tall. Yeah, there you go, without touching. Extend. Oops. Lift that knee high. Yeah, there you go. That is hard to stay upright, but you're doing great. Deep hip flexors. Hips are level. Ooh, nice job. Grab a sip. We're going to go down to the floor. Very good. Nice job, guys. Everybody got a roller? Take a moment. Let me just see. Can you roll out your hip? I want to see. I think everyone had a roller. Jean, do you have a roller? Got one? Okay. Okay, great. And then you could do it like this, where you don't even put your ankle in a figure 4. Or you could do it like this, and then roll out the hip all the way to the high pelvis. 10, 9, 8, and then the breath. Long and full. And we're going to try the other side. We're going to hit the muscles, and you may have a side that needs more attention. Good. And remember, you can kind of move around. This is a big area. You can get all the way to the pelvis. You can get to your greater trochanter. You can get to your sit bone. Five, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Now, if you can get some of that IT-ish band, hamstring. If your shoulder bothers you and you need to do something else, that's fine too. I like to put one foot in front of the other to kind of give some weight off. And you could go more lateral quad as you look down. You could do more side IT. You can do more hamstring if you gently look up. So I'm just offering. You're going to find places that you need. But I just want to make sure I offer it. And sometimes you don't even know till you start rolling out the area. Boy, that was tight. Or you're ahead of it where it doesn't manifest in pain in your daily life, but you feel it's tight when we're doing the movements. So you can return to the IT if you need it, or the quad if you need it, or the back of that sit bone or hamstring. Let me see how you're doing. Yeah, 10, looking good. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And then you could do the other side if you need to stay on one side. It's fine, or if you need to do another muscle. Just going to touch some of these muscles. Wanted to keep the foam rolling sprinkled in like spice. I really like to see what's going on with you guys with your emails and texts, and we can kind of specify that way too, or what I see. Now, if you do more rolling down, you get more quad. Isn't that nice? Also, this is going to help the knees. Lateral is more IT. You can feel more, if you roll up, that's more hamstring. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Good. Looking good. And I do want to offer the lat. So test it out. Michelle, I'm thinking you're going to have trigger points in here. So just see if this is okay. Your arm twist here, your muscle, your lat twist. And just see. You can kind of roll back and get the back of the shoulder. I'm going to say 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And then let's try the other. So You may decide you need to go back to a side. That's okay. Revealing, and then you can make it your own. So see how it works. Good. Everybody's looking good. This helps with the preventing forward head syndrome, by the way, too. So this is good. Or rounded shoulders, really, I should say. But when the upper back's rounded, the head usually has to make up for it with the forwardness. So it helps, but in an indirect way. So breathe into it. Can you feel? So for example, I can feel my right side's got a little bit more going on the internal rotation, because during the day I use my right arm 90% of the time more. So you may feel something similar. 10. Nice. All right, upper back. This is one of my favorites. I hope you like it. It's kind of like a bridge where you lift your tush, and you could put your hand on your hands on your head like cradle, and you can do extension with this one, and you can do flexion. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I want to just touch the inner thighs for a moment. So you know how we do frog pose? We put our forearms on the mat, and then one knee is out like frog, the other leg's long like a plank. I've got my right toes curled under, and I've got the foam and the right knee off the floor, and I've got the left inner thigh on the foam roller, kind of like frog pose. And I'm just rolling the foam roller perpendicular to my thigh. And you're going to feel an inner thigh muscle in there that needs it. 10, 5, 2, and then try the other. So now the left toes are on the ground and the right knee is in a frog pose. Your forearms on the ground. Yeah, kind of like a plank in a way. Yeah, there you go. And how about 10, 2, 3, good. 4, does one feel different than the other? So my left inner thigh felt tighter, so you can tell, yep, 5. They both feel great, huh? 3, 2, and then 1. Now, I'm going to use this tool for the upper back opener to prevent forward head. If you need a roller, if you need a foam block or with your roller, you can. I'm going to show upper back and then maybe a pillow or a block, but you may not need one. I'm just demoing. I like to open up the knees on this too for the inner thighs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now you might use your hand to kind of tuck, and then we're going to take this foam roller long ways. One end of the sacrum's on one end and the head's on the other. Again, I'm going to open up the arms like a T or a Y, kind of like a shoulder stretch that you've walked through a doorway and your arms are on the door jamb, but your body keeps going. Now relax. I noticed my right glute was tight and I needed to consciously relax it. So scan your body and let anything go. Five, 4, 3, 2, good. Inhale, and then exhale. You can gently slide off, and we're going to put the foam roller underneath the glute area. This is a psoas release. If you've had to sit or if you walk or hike, basically if you're a human being, these get tight. So we're going to just do a passive release. And if it's tight, it will pitch you forward or make your low back really excessively inward curved. And then the upper back rounds to make up for it. And then the head goes forward. So this is going to help everything. Let your gut go. And then milk the class for everything it's worth. So send a full breath, diaphragmatic. Let your mind be absorbed in the breath and relaxing. That way we get our nervous system on board and our immunity system on board. Our gut responds. Our body's inflammation's reducing. Now we're going to relieve the foam roller just for a moment. I want you to see how your back feels on the ground, and you may have an image of a healthy pancake just melting into a cast iron skillet. And then your legs are going to be up on the wall, and we're going to do feet up on the wall pose. And again, give yourself full breath. And then release the foam roller when you can. Be loving to your body as you come up. And we're going to milk every single wellness quality we can. We're going to send an intention. The breath is our way of doing this, an intention of wellness to all our muscles. We worked them well. To our flexibility, our range of motion. To our immunity, we stimulated lymph in all of the different lymph node areas. To our nervous system, our parasympathetic system is good. Our mind is clear and inflammatory taken without any side effects. Our gut biome's been cared for. Our posture. So now we're going to go out in this world with a full tank as it's meant to be.